Hi guys, and welcome back to Ask WSO. Today's video is going to be about investment banking and finance resume. We have a really great template on the Wall Street Oasis site that I'm going to go over towards the end, so you guys are going to be able to find out how to use that template for yourself, and I highly recommend that you do that. Before even getting into that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my resume and the reason why I'm advocating for this. So if you can imagine the worst resume you've ever seen in your entire life, that was my resume up until about a year ago. It was literally the worst resume ever. Before I got into finance, the resume I had was fine. And then I got a lot of advice from my sister because she went in a 3-year period from working at an LA Fitness to working at a huge corporation in Silicon Valley. And this resume worked wonders for her. Neither of us went to a Target school. So for her, she had a picture of herself on it. She had a quote. She made it all, artsy, and they told her this is the best handcrafted resume we've ever seen. And so since her resume worked so well for her, I assumed, hers is working for her, it must work for me. Wrong. Tech resumes and finance resumes, not the same thing. So let me just let you guys imagine it really quick. It was disorganized. Literally, I had like a picture of me, it was all over the place. A lot of these companies use a scanner and they scan your resume to see what's in it for content, to pull out words to see if you're a good fit for them. And because of the way that it was formatted, I guess it wasn't going through the right way and my resume wasn't being read, which means it was being discarded at every single place that I applied. Additionally to that, I put a headshot of myself on it. So keep in mind, if you're from a different country, this might not apply to you, but in the United States, you don't apply with the resume with your face on it, especially in finance. And not only did I use a headshot, but the headshot was terrible. I was wearing this jacket and I looked really uncomfortable and I was it was really embarrassing, really cringe. I took it in front of a wall at my house, so the light was yellow, and I photoshopped it because it was horrible, and the photoshopping was horrible, so it keeps getting worse. Then, to make it look cool, I guess, I used a sales and trading computer screen, analytics. I used a picture of that on my resume. I didn't list any KPIs, which I'm gonna get into, and I also didn't list any hobbies. So basically I had a resume that had a horrible picture of me on it with a random sales and trading thing in the background, disorganized, absolutely hideous, and I didn't get a single job that I applied to. I'm going to go through the Wall Street Oasis template that I have now and the reasons why it's literally so much better and what you should include on your resume. So of course, the way that it looks matters a lot, but also the content matters. So we're going to go through that content as well, and I hope that this video helps you guys and that you don't embarrass yourselves like I did. Alrighty everybody, like I mentioned, I'm going to go over the template with you guys and show you how to access it. So the first step, of course, is to log in. As you can see, I'm logged in over here. I'm going to put my mouse over resources, go down to templates, and select investment banking resume template. Now when you get to this page, there's going to be a lot of information, and you can comb through that if you'd like and read some more detailed information on there. I'm going to just go ahead and click on WSO resume template, have it download, and then open it. Once this is opened, now you're going to be able to see everything. So of course you're going to want to plug in your information and cater this to what you think. So the first thing that I want to say is, although this is a fantastic template and I highly recommend that everybody use it to some sort, you always want to cater every single resume to the job you're applying to. The reason for that is because companies are getting so many applications nowadays that a ton of the recruitment process is actually automated, meaning that you and 1,000 other people are going to submit your resumes to an automated system that isn't even going to rate it, but rather just scan it for keywords. That being said, if a job posting has certain keyword like investment, now I'm searching and investment is highlighted 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that's great. But if the job is looking for capital raise and I search, I'm not going to find anything for that, and that's going to not show up at all. So you want to make sure that if a job posting is specifying something in its description a bunch of times, if they keep using the word manager over and over again, if they keep using the word leadership over and over again, investment, capital raise, whatever it may be, always scan that job posting, find those keywords, and plug them into your resume. Now, obviously, everybody's previous work experience is a little bit different. Although I'm still in my undergrad and this resume, as you can see, is geared towards your undergrad, I have a lot of job experience. And to me, that job experience weighs out putting a leadership investment fund or soccer team, and my resume is still in this template but formatted a little bit differently. So for me, at the very top, I have my work experience. That work experience goes down to right about here. Here I have my education, that goes down to right about here, and then right here I put a section called Other Information, and all that's down here is my hobbies and my skills. So hobbies are basically the same thing as interests, and skills, I'll get into that in a little bit. So I still use this template, I still use the way that it's structured at the top, the font, etc. However, I made sure that I used my skills to the best ability that I could. So if you are somebody who's worked at Jamba Juice as a cashier previously, and then after that you had an accounting internship at KPMG, and then you got an investment banking summer analyst position, and you don't have enough space to put 3 jobs and your education, or 3 jobs and your leadership, say, hey, is that Jamba Juice cashier position really going to push me over the edge? Or is my contribution to the soccer team or something else look better? So you want to make sure to leverage your experience. And because of that, that is why I structured my resume a little bit differently within this template. So make sure to weigh out your personal experience, see what you think pushes you over the edge compared to other candidates, and what helps you maximize those keywords that you're searching for in the job posting. Like I said, a ton of things are automated nowadays, and if you match those keywords, your chances of getting to that second round is much, much higher. Now, skills is a fantastic way to do that, because it's not enough just to use the keywords they're asking for. If they're using words like leadership and managed over and over again, it's great that you say managed X, Y, and Z. But if you can't say certain terms, for example, if they keep using that they'd like you to know HTML, and you can't find a way to incorporate it in your resume in any of your education, work experience, or leadership, you can put it in your skills or in your certifications, and that's going to help you use that on your resume. A lot of VC job postings like when people know SQL and HTML, and I don't have anywhere to put it on my resume other than skills. So I always make sure to incorporate that down here, which is partially why I think skills are so helpful. I also incorporate data scraping, networking, deal sourcing, capital raises, etc., because those really help push me over the edge in comparison to other candidates. And sometimes you can't find a place to fit those in other ways in your resume. The next thing is I want you guys to put everything into perspective. Let's say, like I mentioned, 1,000 people are applying to a job that only has 2 open positions. Of course, they're going to filter through that and get down to 100 candidates from that 1,000 just by automation. So let's say they narrowed it down to 140 candidates from the 1,000. Then they personally have to go and read through all 140 of those resumes, and they have to eliminate 40 of them. When they're eliminating those people, what they're going to be looking for is people who best match their description. So at that point, it's not only about words. Yes, it's great that you said that you manage something, but it's always good to put KPIs, which are key point metrics. And the reason why these are so important is because adding numbers shows that not only did you manage something, but it shows how much of something that you managed and how much of an impact that you made. So right here it says managed a 105K diversified mid-cap equities fund, outperformed benchmark by 4% since 2010 inception. So not only are you saying how much you made a change since what year, but you're saying that you outperform and that you managed, and you're saying the amount of money. So you're being very specific, and people are going to like that in comparison to reading someone else's resume that just says manage a diversified fund, cost improvement. Here they can actually see what improvement that you created. So it's always great to incorporate numbers in any way that you can throughout your resume. This will give you an edge over other candidates. Additionally, once you get past that point, if you're lucky enough to not be eliminated in that process and they only have 100 candidates left, then they'll put those candidates through the hire view, and those people will do the recorded interview. That is going to be my next video, where it's going to be a recorded first section of the interview, and then after that comes the behavioral and technical interview portions. If you guys are interested in that, I actually just released a video on the behavioral and technical investment banking interviews, so I hope you guys check that out. It's on our YouTube channel under Ask WSO episode 5. You guys can leverage your experience in any way you want. If you want to move education to the bottom, if you have a little more work experience, work with this template, but I promise you that the way this is, even if it looks plain, this is the best standard finance resume that you're going to use. And ever since I started using it, even though I had the exact same written content as my other really poor resume, my job offers multiplied by a lot. And the reason for that is just the way that this aesthetically looks, the ability for it to be read through the machine, and that you're meeting the finance industry standards, which is very important because it shows you're aware of how you're supposed to look and how you're supposed to be doing things. Alright everybody, I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions at all regarding your resume, please feel free to reach out to me. If you guys even want me to look at your resume, I can do that. If you guys are wondering why these haven't been posted on consistent days, it's just because we're getting everything together with the editing team. However, you will always know if a video gets posted if you subscribe, so subscribe. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me with any questions again. My name is Isabella, and thank you for tuning in.